Namaskar, everyone, and good morning. Once again, it's a beautiful day here, and you can get a little glimpse of it. It's a rainy period, but we have been blessed with some really beautiful sunny days, which we need. You can see the skies a little bit, tiny bit of gray, but still a lovely day. Yeah, so let me wish all of you, first of all, a happy Monday morning. Happiness is an attunement to a deeper level of being, where you can always be happy regardless of what is happening outside of you. It's an energy from your soul being. In the Sanskrit, it's called Ananda, one measure joy, one measure bliss, and it is the bliss of our being, our essence, our purest consciousness. Of course, you know that I teach that in our essence there is perfection. In our essence there is omnipresence. In our essence there is infinite knowing. It's also amazing that when we think we need to accumulate a lot of information in our brain, in fact, when we are intuitive, all information comes to us from the universe. So there is no need to worry about the accumulation of knowledge, which can make we just bring more ego, that we know more. But the truth is that when we realize that our secular knowing is far away from being perfect, then we realize that perfection lies in the center of the universe and center of being. But today I want to talk about what I spoke about yesterday. You know, I like to follow up on Monday with the subject, and perhaps dealing with it in a more practical way, because what I said yesterday is about the deeper we center in consciousness, the more expansive the consciousness becomes, and the more we see in the internal space, the more we perceive or are aware of in the internal space, and by extension the outer. So how do we deepen consciousness? How do we deepen the center of seeing? You know, I used to think that I can help people to do that. In my naive mind, I used to think, oh my God, let me tell people to go to the chakra and they will suddenly have a great experience of the chakra. Only to realize soberly that that's not the way it happens. They cannot feel what I'm feeling just yet. They have their own level of consciousness and they have their own karmic journey. And all I can do is inspire them. I can tell them about possibilities. I can tell them about what my experiences and what I've experienced, and allow them to ruminate with that until it becomes an awareness that they begin to realize. So what I want to say today is that sometimes my words may not be fully understood and misinterpreted, but take your time, listen to it over and over and over again, and one day you'll realize the depth of the words. So journeying to the center of being, or deepening the center of seeing, happens with our journey along the chakras. Gross consciousness is there when the evolutionary energy is locked at the base. And to untie that knot that we call the knot of the creative power of the universe. Brahma Granthi. Granthi is a knot. So we have to untie that first knot. And I'm sure for a lot of you that first knot has been untied. And then this evolutionary energy can move along the spinal column. So the spinal column is sacred. It carries the evolutionary energy that is the major force in the journey. And when that energy is awakened in the lower area, we become a little more spiritual conscious, even while still in body consciousness and tied to body, to primal energies and primal wants. You know, the needs for survival, the needs of procreation, the need to be territorial, the need to hoard, accumulate, greed, all of this are what is associated with a primal area. In spiritual consciousness, we begin to realize the animal nature a little bit, and that begins a spiritual journey, a journey of evolution and consciousness. So already we would have been deepening the seeing once the root knot is awakened, and we can feel some kind of power that's there, that's coming from another dimension, another space. And that is what we call a chakra. And these chakras are centers of energy and consciousness. And they are part of the evolutionary journey of that power that is at the base that we call Kundalini. So when the time is right and you're curious enough and you can have a little detachment from the worldly kind of pursuits and thinking, you'll have a chance to be more aware of the energies along the spinal column. It requires a detachment from the world. You cannot have your feet or attention on both sides and expect to experience the deeper side. So the more you detach yourself from the worldly side, the more you can access the deeper side of seeing. So that's the first thing. You cannot be caught up to the extent that it makes you blind to your spiritual self or your energy self, subtle energy self, or your deeper self. So we need that degree of spiritual awakening. And what a spiritual awakening means, it means that you begin to become aware of a different kind of presence inside of you, the evolutionary energy, and a different kind of energy supporting you from the inner space. And that's what spiritual awakening is. And then as we begin to use this inner power that it becomes available to us, so this inner awareness, then we grow in consciousness, as it were. We expand through the activities and the relationship with the world, activities in the world and relationship in the world. We begin to experience a power inside of us that we don't fully understand, but we begin to tap into. And we begin to realize that it requires a kind of giving attention to deepen it. And the next knot that is there, this first knot deals with the vitality, the animal vitality in the core. It deals with the sexuality or reproductive power, and it deals with the raw physical power. That's what this lower area is. And when we are curious enough to ask ourselves, is there more? Then we come to the heart region, and there you have another knot, which is the emotional knot. And it's called the Vishnu Granthi, because opening up this knot brings preserving energies into the space. And the Vishnu power is a preserving power. And when we open up, when we begin to explore with curiosity and with practices, such as breathing, such as meditation, such as attentiveness to the energy of the heart, we begin to experience a spiritual awakening in the heart when this knot is beginning to untie. And then when it begins to untie, we may um, open up a field of negative energy that might still be there. We become more aware of all the negative emotions we have been tied to, and so we have to learn how to detach something negative and tap into more positive emotions inside. We begin to realize that um, emotions are something we can generate. We begin to become more emotionally intelligent, as it were. And the more with curiosity, we pursue this to come into the highest kind of emotional stability that we can, emotional energy channeling as we can, the more our consciousness expands, and the deeper we go in centering in this heart. And that's a beautiful, beautiful place to be, because that's where my first huge awakening happened. And as we begin to explore the heart and clean up the heart and express it through the voice, where there's a chakra there, and that's called Vishuddhi, which means pure. So you have to actually purify this area of emotional expression through the voice, and in communication, it has to be more kindness and lovingness and caring and truthful. The more we open the doorway to another level, another knot that is at the center of the eyebrows. Now these are energy knots. We begin to actually feel them as a knot in the area when it's still in a state of darkness, or when the knot is still tied very strongly. So as we begin to develop the curiosity in the mental field to want to know who we are, what is the divine, we begin to access this point. And with, of course, spiritual practices guided by an aware person, an evolved soul, we'll be able to untie that knot. But untying that knot brings the most beautiful awareness that we are also divine, like a spark of a divine fire. And when we begin to feel that, life changes amazingly. We begin to have more control over thinking. So we become more mentally intelligent, more intuitive. We can tap into inner wisdom, the wisdom of the universe. And that it becomes very exciting too. And that leads us into a whole change in self-identity. And so that is what we call the Bindu path. When you begin to traverse that path from the center of the eyebrows right up to crown. Now, crown is not a doing chakra. Crown is not a ego chakra. Ego starts from the brow and downwards. So the moment you go to the crown, the ego is disarmed. So the ego really has to give up its power. It has to surrender to get deeper access to crown consciousness. What is crown consciousness? It is expansive consciousness. It is the begin to feel that you're omnipresent, that you can connect with the world around you from a deeper level of being, where you can intuit things and you can feel the holographic connection you have with the universe. That you can communicate with a tree or with a pet from inside, or with the energy of places. You can begin to pick it up, and your awareness of energy becomes totally different. But this is quite a powerful journey in inner space to deepen consciousness to that level. So this is how you make the journey to the center of being, because the crown is the center of being. And so every time you journey in the consciousness, you are actually journeying to a certain chakra or a certain dimension of consciousness or a certain plane of consciousness. And the breath is a powerful tool when you use it in your meditation to take you there. So sitting meditation is important. When you sit every day, you can actually go to every center and stay with the ones that are awakened in you, that you can feel strongly within you. And you breathe into those centers. And when you begin to breathe in this sort of spiritual awakening and awareness, you begin to feel that you're not just breathing in oxygen, but you're breathing in energy. And that is magical, because then you begin to realize that you're breathing in prana from the space around you, from another dimension around you. You're bringing prana into the body. And prana is life force, vitality. Chinese call it chi. The Koreans and Japanese ki. So we need to We need to become more aware of that. But curiosity and the desire to know and the discipline of staying steady with your search for knowledge will help you to begin to access these. But it may come to you as a direct experience, or you may be led to guides or books that can help you to go forward in your experiences. So this is the journey. So it's more important to go to where you are. If you have a strong Manipura energy, you stay there and try to expand your consciousness there and to manage all the primal areas. If you have a strong heart energy, explore that. Begin to bring out more love and kindness and caring in all relationships. And that's how your consciousness will deepen and expand. And when it comes to the mind, you need to work on the ego, trying to be more selfless and giving and thoughtful and practice mind control. And that's how you can deepen the consciousness there. So it's an amazing journey into the inner space. So give attention to that. And of course, the universe is a responsive universe. It's super intelligent. So it knows exactly where you are and is constantly responding to you. Even when you think the universe has forgotten you, it is just that you are disconnecting from it and you're losing your connection to an amazing field of support, a field of grace. So you want to learn how to tune into your universe. You need to learn how to tune into this evolutionary energy and presence. And I have that in all my teachings, all my talks. I have how to do that. And all my talks come from the experience of being, the experience in the inner world. So just by listening to them, you can actually catch it from my talks or my presence. So it's important to journey to the center of being. That changes life. That transforms our consciousness. That gives us more energy. And it puts us on a fascinating journey to the center of being. So that much I'll say on a Monday morning. But let me stay with you for a couple of minutes as we explore that. Right where you are, just breathe out and breathe in. And if your heart is opened, spiritually awakened and open, then you just open your heart to your lovingness. Now the center for the heart is a nurturing center, a nourishing center. That's where the heart is, physical heart, that nourishes the body with blood and oxygen and food, nourishes the cells. And that's where the lungs are, and that is where the thymus gland is for immunity. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful chakra for nourishment. And that's where the human breast is, and in the females it's for supporting the child. So all those connections are there. And your heart chakra is connected to the hands. So it brings a sacred and loving touch to the hands, that when you touch something, the heart energy goes into it. So when you lovingly prepare food, or you lay your hands on someone lovingly, and you are attuned to that heart center, you can bring healing energies to the person, or supportive energies to the person. So that's so let's come for a moment into that heart center. And just breathe into it, eyes open or eyes closed. Just breathe into it and breathe out from there. So you're breathing into the center of love. And you're breathing out love to the space around you. Just hold the intention of loving and willing love into the space around you, channeling love. If you feel the chakra there, then you will feel the energy of the love coming out. And if you don't yet feel that powerful stream of love, then just stay with this area and just open your heart to being kind and loving towards everything. So what I'm doing here is that I'm holding you in my consciousness space, because you are in my consciousness field. I'm not aware of all of you who are looking, but I'm opening up my heart to the expansive collective space. So that means I'm with you. And you're with me. And then when you do that, open the belly so that the body cells can receive this loving energy that you're giving from an open heart. You're channeling from an open heart. Just breathe into the belly. And that's how you nourish the cells of the body. And it's beautiful just to do that. The evolutionary energy supports that. So as you act, more grace comes in support. I absolutely love meditating on the heart. And then you take that to the physical body. So you go right down to feeling the physical body itself, the gross body, the muscles in the body, the organs within you that are operating, the awareness of the skin and extremities. So you're actually channeling love from the heart into the gut, into the skin, into the extremities, into the joints, and you're holding the entire body in your mental space, holding it in your awareness, your mental awareness. That's a feel of prana as well. And then you're holding it in lovingness. And that's beautiful, just to hold your body cells in your love. So just open up to that awareness. And this is how we participate in co-creating a better world, a more peaceful, loving, harmonious world. And that's how we can contribute to the well-being of our world. May all be happy, may all be healthy. May all be awakened to essence. May all be lifted beyond the body consciousness and experience the powerful essence of the soul. Om Shanti, peace. Shanti, peace. Shanti, peace. So have an amazing day, everyone. May this inspiration stay with you. May it be a seed within you that will sprout and grow and bring new awareness to you and new energy experiences to you. So have a blessed day, everyone. Remember that you are the light, that the light is within you. Tap into it, live in it. That you are love. Don't wait for people to love you. Just give love to all, regardless, as the sun shines on all. And as the fruit trees denies no one with its fruit. You to be loving and giving, doesn't matter how the external world treats you. Don't be conditionally loving, but unconditionally loving. And take time to nourish your body by breathing love into the gut, extending that love to the extremities of the body, to the skin, to all the joints, all the organs. Be more conscious, be more mindful of every level of being. The quality of your mind, the quality of your emotional being, and the state of your vitality across the physical body. Have a blessed day, everyone. My soul bows to you. Namaskar.